Liverpool Football Club take action against the PGMOL. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around the big news story surrounding Liverpool Football Club, who have decided to take action against the PGMOL by writing to them to voice their anger and frustration over what they believe was a perfectly legitimate Virgil Van Dijk goal that got ruled out for offside in their game against Manchester City on Sunday. For those of you who have not seen it, living under a rock for the past 48 hours or so, Manchester City ran out 3-0 winners against Liverpool at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday in what was an incredible performance by Pep Guardiola's side. But it was a victory that was shrouded in a bit of controversy, because at 1-0, Liverpool thought they had found a way back into the game from their skipper, Virgil Van Dijk, who met Mo Salah's corner with a perfectly beautiful header that found the back of the net, only for the referee and the linesman to together come to the conclusion that the goal should have been ruled out as Andy Robertson was stood in an offside position. Since then, we've analysed it, we've gone through it, and we've arrived at the same decision that a lot of people have, that in our opinions, the referee and the linesman got it wrong on the day. We believe that after going through the offside law and the wording of that law, the referee and the linesman should have allowed that goal to stand, and that could have put Liverpool back into the game. As it was, the goal was ruled out. Frustration grew on the faces of those Liverpool players. A lot of people were left scratching their heads over why it was disallowed, and none more so than just Liverpool Football Club in general, who have decided to take it one step further by writing to the PGMOL to question why that goal was ruled out, even though the wording of the offside law states that the likelihood is that it should have stood. We're going to be talking about this incident. We're going to be talking about Liverpool's complaint and everything else in between. But before we go any further in discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on this particular subject. Would love to know what you guys have to say on this, so leave your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it down below, because I'm sure what you have to say might be great interest in reading. Otherwise, let's get on with the conversation, shall we? Let's talk Liverpool's complaint to the PGMOL about Virgil van Dijk's cancelled out equaliser on Sunday. I've spoke about this at great length these past couple of days, and I want to just again start off how I've started off the past couple of videos that I've done on this. Man City were fully deserving of their victory on Sunday. Goals from Erling Haaland, Nico Gonzalez and Jeremy Doku were enough to put Liverpool away and embarrass the Reds on that Sunday evening. They fully deserved it. No doubt about it. They fully deserved the victory. But the controversy does remain. And whilst we can talk about how poor Liverpool were, it doesn't mean we have to cancel out the conversation of how incompetent and how useless the referees and the officials were on that day as well. The two things aren't mutually exclusive. We can have both conversations at the same time. A lot of people don't seem to understand or recognise that, but that is the reality of the situation. We can talk about how poor Liverpool were, but we also have to talk about the way that these referees and officials just were useless on the day, and in my opinion gave the wrong decision to disallow Virgil van Dijk's equaliser. Because as we know, goals change games whenever they're scored. Goals can give confidence to teams whenever they are scored. And Van Dijk's header, in my opinion, was legit, it was proper, and it should have been allowed to stand. And at 1-1, that could have allowed Liverpool back into the game. It could have allowed Liverpool back into the game. It could have made Liverpool get confidence in themselves to actually start playing, actually start competing, and make it more of a contest than what the game turned out to be. But it was ruled out for offside. VAR did not even intervene to recommend an on-field check by the referee. It was just, okay, we'll go with your decision. We're not really paying attention anyway, so we'll go for it. And it left a lot of people scratching their heads. More or less everybody that was watching the game was left scratching their heads over like how they arrived at that decision. Why didn't VAR intervene? And even Manchester City fans were probably sat there breathing a big sigh of relief as to why that goal wasn't allowed to stand. It was baffling, absolutely baffling on the day. And again, I'm not using it as an excuse as to why Liverpool lost that game. That is not the be-all and end-all reason. Okay? That is a factor, but it's not the be-all and end-all reason. There are deeper factors as to why Liverpool lost. But for anybody that knows me and knows what I've tried to do on this channel, is I've tried to seek for consistency within the officials that run this game. I have tried to call out officials whenever they have made these kind of stupid mistakes. And I've defended any and every team as consistently as I can when I see fit to do so about these kinds of decisions. I've defended the likes of Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have been hard done by VAR and referees. I've defended Nottingham Forest in the past. I've even defended rivals like Chelsea and Man United and Arsenal and Man City themselves. Like, I've defended pretty much every team in the Premier League that has been hard done by. Even when decisions have gone for my own club, I've still said, I think the referee's got that wrong there. I think the VAR that have got that wrong. I tried to be as consistent with this as possible. So this isn't me whining, whinging and complaining 2 days on. This is me just talking about a news event and stating what is going on and my opinion on why Liverpool have filed this sort of complaint, if you like, against the PGMOL. The fact of the matter is that we went through this yesterday in the video that I did. And we talked about the offside law and the wording of it. And we compared it to the justification, or the attempted justification, from the Premier League Matchday Centre about why the goal in that moment was ruled out for offside. And we matched it up and we said that Robertson was not in violation of any of the reasons why offside would be given. And even in the justification that the Premier League gave, they did a half-hearted reason as to why the offside was given, but they didn't fully elaborate on the actual offside law that they have put together. Robertson was not impeding the actions of City players. He was not trying to manipulate play or the ball in any sort of way. He ducks to get out the way of the potential trajectory of the ball, but Donnarumma already knows where the ball is going because he can see it all the way. He sees it from the corner being swung in to Van Dijk heading it. He knows exactly where the ball is going. His eye line is not blocked. He sees it all the way. He's at full stretch, but he's never getting there. If he's at full stretch, and this is a 6 foot, what is he? 6'6", 6'7" goalkeeper. If he's not getting to that ball, nobody is. So, therefore, to me, it's a perfectly legit goal that Liverpool have been robbed of getting. And like I say, that is a gateway back into the game that Liverpool have potentially been robbed of receiving. I'm all for Liverpool complaining to the PGMOL. I was all for Forest doing it. Not so much them putting Mark Clattenburg in charge of whatever it was that he was in charge of, like justifying referee decisions or whatever it was. That was maybe a step too far. But I was all for Forest writing to the PGMOL. I think Wolves have done it in the past. I think Arsenal have done it in the past. I am all for it. I am so all for it. Because as I said yesterday, we need to drop our agendas, we need to drop our tribalism and our biases and actually work together on this. We need to work together to try and seek consistency, and good consistency at that, from the officials that run this game. Because at the moment, it's getting worse and worse. It's getting worse and worse. And the examples that I threw up yesterday, Man City against Wolves, Man City against Fulham, and I believe it was Chelsea against Brentford from earlier on this season, and even another one that I didn't pick, and I know this one's in Europe, but there was a goal between Liverpool and Atletico in which Atletico scored that, in my opinion, was offside because the ball went behind the Atletico player who was in an offside position that was affecting the eye line and in the eyesight of Alisson Becker in the Liverpool goal. So all of those were allowed to stand, but for whatever reason, this one wasn't. So based off past examples, this one's the odd one out. So explain to me how this one can be deemed offside, but the others cannot. And this is why I say, more teams need to be jumping on this bandwagon. More teams need to be more demanding of good consistency from those that govern, run, and officiate the game. And rather than be ridiculed for it by people on Sky Sports, ex-players, pundits, whoever they like, they need to be all on this. They need to be all on board with this. Because otherwise, they're just going to keep on getting away with making these decisions. They're going to be just getting away with doing whatever they like. I don't understand why people seeking consistency in the game is a bad thing. I don't understand this mentality of, well, you lost, so deal with it. Well, let's look at why we lost. Let's look at a potential reason why we lost. Yeah, Liverpool weren't great on the day, and we'll have that conversation. We will have that conversation. But let's not ignore the fact that Liverpool were denied a perfectly good gateway potentially back into the game by incompetent referees who decided to give it as offside. Now, in the moment, I can understand a referee giving it as offside. I can understand a linesman giving it as offside. But VAR is there as a safety net to go, you may have made a mistake there. Except, whilst this man is in charge, the usage of VAR and the level of VAR has rapidly declined. Every week we are seemingly shrouding games in controversy because the referees have not done their job. The VAR officials have not done their job. And once again, they've not done their job. This man and his officials have not done their job. Because VAR has not intervened. I can understand the linesman giving it if he sees Andy Robertson in a offside position, but that's where the VAR has to intervene and go, well, I can understand why you might have given it, but it's technically not in any of the laws of the game that he's broken, so realistically we have to overturn that decision and actually give the goal to Liverpool. Why did VAR not intervene? Especially when you consider that the most painfully obvious decisions VAR decide to deliberate on for a good 5 minutes. But this decision, open and shut within 10 seconds. It was basically like they were in the VAR room, they were completely distracted, they weren't watching the game, and as soon as the referee goes, anything from the VAR here? And they go, whatever you go. Yeah, we'll go with what you say. And it was open and shut like that. No deliberation. No checking about 500 different camera angles. No watching it at about 10 different speeds. Nothing like that. It was just open and shut like that. And again, as I said yesterday, the laws of the game and the actions that were in play seem to suggest that Andy Robertson did nothing wrong and that Virgil van Dijk's goal should have stood. And Liverpool's complaint, them writing to the PGMOL, I don't know how far it will go, admittedly. It's probably something that they'll probably screw up and just toss in the bin. Because that's just the kind of arrogant, ignorant people that they are. And, you know, the mainstream media and even certain people on social media seem to defend this for whatever reason. I don't know how far it will go, but I'm all for them writing to them. And I think more clubs should start doing it. Because all you're doing if you don't back this is you're guaranteeing that somewhere along down the line, this will affect your club. And when it does, and when you decide we should take action against this, we were wrong to not join forces with Liverpool and do this. We were wrong to not join forces with Arsenal and not do this sooner, because now it's affected us. We're the victims now. All you're guaranteeing is that that will happen one day. And when you're looking around for support, no one's going to be supporting you because you didn't support them in the first place. This is not an agenda thing. This is not a Liverpool thing. This is not anything other than referees being stupid, incompetent, and useless. Whether it be the ones on the pitch or the ones in the VAR room. They're not doing their jobs correctly. And until clubs start calling it out the same way that some fans are, they're not going to get any better. And with this man in charge, it certainly doesn't seem to be getting any better. If anything, it seems to be getting worse. So I'm all for Liverpool complaining. I know some fans may say it's a bit cringy. I know some fans may say it's a bit embarrassing. But look at the bigger picture here. No one's denying that Liverpool were poor on the day. No one's denying that Liverpool didn't deserve to get battered on the day. But at the same time, referee and officiate the games fairly. This main character syndrome that officials seem to have, no one's paying money, whether it's match-going fans or whether it's fans that are watching from their TV sets at home on whatever platforms that you're viewing on, whether it's like Sky or TNT or whatever it is. No one's watching and paying to see you. We are paying to watch the game. And your officiating is somehow getting worse and worse. I didn't think it could get much lower. I didn't think it could decline anymore, but it is. And this incident on Sunday is perfectly... is a perfect example of that. It's getting worse. And I'm not going down the conspiracy route of Michael Oliver, but it is very strange that once again Michael Oliver's involved and it benefits Man City. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not going down the conspiracy route until I have obviously more evidence, but it does seem very, very strange. And if you are someone that is trying to suppress this, if you are someone that is against this, I want to know why. The mainstream media and Sky Sports, I can understand why, because we've had suspicions that they've been in cahoots with the PGMOL for a while, which is why Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville have both ridiculed the likes of Forest and Arsenal for complaining to the PGMOL. I'm interested to know what Carragher's thoughts are on Liverpool doing it. But I want to know from fans, why do you do this? Because all you're guaranteeing is that this is going to affect your club one day. And you're going to moan. And you're going to complain. But no one's going to support you because you didn't support anybody else. So I'm begging for consistency. I'm begging for good consistency. I'm begging for people to look at the bigger picture in these situations. And those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. What do you make about Liverpool complaining to the PGMOL about Virgil Van Dijk's equalising goal, which was chalked off for offside on Sunday? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about that. As always, though, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.